continue. All right, so we were recording for the Indigenous Art, Culture, and History class at the University of Winnipeg. This is my good friend Hailey, who is a local beadwork artist. Instead of doing an introduction, we will be asking Hailey some questions today and we'll get to know her. So thank you very much, Hailey, for being here. I'm so thankful to know you, and I'm very thankful that my class gets to learn about you as well. So first question is, how did you begin to bead? What have you beaded? And are there other types of Métis artwork that you do or would like to do in the future?
Thank you, Megan. Began beading in 2021. Nothing really led me to beading exactly. Like I've always found interest in it. Like it's beautiful. I never thought I would be able to pick it up though, but I picked up a couple art kits from Art City and I embroidered, I beaded, I painted a little bit, and beading really stuck with me. Um, And then from there, I fell in love with beading. I also signed up for a beading Zoom through the Graffiti Gallery Studio 393, and learned how to do a two needle technique and make lanyards through them. I started beading around cabochons, making earrings and stuff like that. Pop sockets, lanyards, pins. This last year, though, I've picked up making tobacco bags a lot and more traditional Métis florals. I've been really into that lately. So yeah. Um, I still like to do fun designs like beading Kirby and Hello Kitty and stuff like that, little fun ones. Um, I want to be Marge Simpson soon for my cousin. I like the balance of it, like the digging into the grandmother designs and then having some fun on the side is what I like to do. I would love to learn how to make Métis sashes, moccasins, and a wall pocket. I really want to make a wall pocket this year, so we'll see about that. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I want to make a wall pocket too. And it pops into my head sometimes.
Mhm.
But now I remember it, like as you were saying it, I'm like, oh yeah, that's on my to-do list, the one I don't look at. And now didn't you do an octopus bag as well?
Did do an octopus bag. Yes, I forgot to mention that. Yeah, I've made it like two little octopus bags, a bigger one that's just blanket stitched around it, and then I beaded a smaller one.
Oh, very
Yeah.
nice. That's another thing I want to do. I think making the octopus bag, yeah, that's such a Métis thing, right? And that's
Mhm.
yeah, that's so nice. I love your work. I love to like I've known you in your tobacco bag era. And so then I get to remember like, oh yeah, you were doing other things as well, and nice to
Mhm.
remember that journey. So that's
Yeah, it's nice to look back on it, right? Like I've been beating tobacco bags for about a year now, actually. I got the little archive notification that it was like a year since I made my little strawberry one. And it's just nice to see like how I've my style has evolved, I guess, since I've been beating. I just started out like beating around cabs. I wasn't really sure what style I was going for, experimenting and stuff, but I like to do it all, I think, but
oh good. Oh, that's you make it look so lovely. So you're really, really good at that. So the next question is, what has your relationship with being Métis been like, and how has it changed over time?
yeah, I would say it was confusing growing up. Like it was we didn't really talk about the Métis side at all. It was more something to be ashamed of.
Mm.
Um, but that's changed in recent years. When I picked up beading, I didn't know about Métis florals, and I felt like I shouldn't be beading at all. You know what I mean? Because I thought it was more of a First Nation art form. Yeah, I didn't know that Métis people beat it at all. So when I picked it up, I was like, I would post. I was very proud of what my work, but I felt like it was wrong in a way. Um, but right now, I would say I am a very proud Métis woman.
Mm.
Very proud to be Métis.
Oh, that's amazing. You know, I was just talking to my students about my beading just
Mhm.
yesterday. And I said to them, yeah, I didn't even know Métis people did beadwork. I had no idea. So
Yeah.
it's really like I feel very emotional as you say that. Because it's nice to know I'm not the only person who didn't know that.
It
That's
is
a huge
actually.
part of who the Métis are. So yeah, so thank you for that honesty, because I know it's not always easy to be honest about those things. Um, and as we keep having this conversation, I'm just reminded more and more why we get along. So the next question is, so you do a lot of trades. So please
Mhm.
tell me about that, what that looks like, what you trade or are willing to trade, and where this idea of trading comes from for you. Um, and of course, I feel like we could do a series on trade stories among the kind-hearted people. So I don't know, maybe that's something we would work on one day. I'm just putting it out there, but yeah, I'd love
Mhm.
to hear about your trading.
I love doing trades. It brings me a lot of like if joy, I guess, and a purpose. I've I've mostly reached out to people to do trades, but I have had some people ask me to trade with them as well. Um, I love receiving something beautiful for something I've made and gifted to someone. I trade mostly medicine bags. I really like to do that, but I have also traded a couple pairs of earrings and a pin, a
Mm.
snake pin. And there's only one person so far that hasn't reciprocated. Like,
Oh.
yeah, that happens, right? There's some people that don't do trades at all because of that. So that's only happened to me once, and I still go for it. I'll still trade with people. It's just good to do your research first to make sure that you're trading with someone you feel comfortable doing so with.
Hmm.
Right? It feels so proper and right doing it. Like the our ancestors and grandmothers would be really proud of us. Um, and I used to love doing trades as a kid, like on the playground and stuff, you know what I mean? Like trading your Pokemon cards or your special marbles and stuff like that. It's very juvenile and it brings me back to being young. Um, it's I don't know, it's just different, and like it builds a different connection than you would to sell something. Um, it's just very nice. I don't know what else to say right now.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, especially too, like thinking of the childhood. I don't know if you know this, but a lot of my academic work, it does focus on the need for reflection.
Mhm.
So I love hearing reflections like that. And I mean, even in the class, we do bi-weekly reflections. So I'm always trying to teach my students that need for reflection. And I think one really important thing is when we can take those nice moments of childhood and bring them into adulthood, and then especially
Mhm.
into our culture in this way. But then I also think about like the financial aspect of buying something versus trading something. And so like how was that money made and who was harmed? And I feel like when we're trading, and of course we can't always trade, like trading's
Yeah,
not cover the bills. Um, but when you can trade, like there can be such a nice place where it comes from with a lot less harm.
exactly.
And I'm
I
not saying
agree.
like all money is harmful, but a lot of money is harmful. And
Mhm.
a lot of how it's made, somebody is harmed in the making, and that's really that's something that's actually kept me from selling my beadwork because I didn't feel appropriate accepting something that has created a lot of harm.
Mhm.
Yeah, not to make your talk all about me.
No, that helps. I love hearing your point of view too.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, so next question. Are there notable moments you would like to share from beading?
I would say I've made so many friends and connections through beading. Like it's changed my life the last 3 or 4 years I've been beading. It's just crazy. I'm a whole new person, I feel like. Um, Being asked to teach at MAWA is a big one, I think. Like I'm very excited about that upcoming in February. I'll be teaching at MAWA, doing beaded um, wrapping earrings, that technique. And I guess my giveaway also was a big highlight. I did a little giveaway on my at the CloverBeads on Instagram, and a lovely Métis youth won,
Oh,
who's from Winnipeg, actually, Manitoba, Winnipeg. So it was very nice. And I would say meeting Janine Croce was a big one.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, she's definitely an idol of mine, and meeting some of her mentees have been really lovely.
Oh, that's so good. Well, and I want to butt in and say a notable beating moment, I think, for you, if I can speak for you, would be like when we met up to trade for the ribbon skirt, and you were going to be beading, which was so sweet. Like, oh my goodness. But what was it? You saw the flowers. I can't remember, the bleeding hearts.
Yeah, the bleeding hearts. Yeah.
And so, you're just riding your bike and you see that and you knew to beat it.
Yeah, the inspiration was just there. I haven't had a moment like that in a minute, but I love that moment when you just see it and you're just like, I want to beat it. Like,
Yeah.
I want to beat a clover for the clover beads. I just haven't, that flower is a little bit trickier. I
Yeah.
haven't quite mapped that out yet, but I would love to. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Well,
love
I
that
can't wait to see.
inspiration.
Yeah. Oh, it'll be so good. Okay, so how does your family and community impact your beading?
Um, I would say they're very supportive. My husband has been very, very supportive, if that helps answer that question. Um,
And I was
and
thinking,
my close
oh, sorry.
part, sorry, what were you gonna say?
Oh, I'm losing my voice. My students have been experiencing this with me too, so they'll be like, "Oh, she's still losing her voice." Um, Sorry, I don't know if that was all you were gonna say, but I was gonna cut in and say, like your time with your cousins.
Yes, I was gonna say, and my close family members have been very supportive of this journey I'm on so far. Like I've inspired my cousins to learn how to bead, which is crazy. Um,
Mhm.
um, it is actually. Because I've had to make room to share it, right? Like it's been hard for at first I was just like, oh, beading is my thing. You know what I mean? But I kept it to myself, right? But like I've had to make room for everyone, not everyone, but my cousins to um what am I trying to say? I guess it's the way I was raised. I was always raised to be very like jealous and have imposter syndrome and stuff. So for someone to come in and, want to share this with me, it was a little challenging, but it's really good. It's really good. It's very nice to share the knowledge that I have about beading and the connections that I've made with other people. And within the community, I like beading little presents for people. So my neighbors actually, like they have this sweet little daughter and I beaded her like that little rainbow barrette. Um, and it just brings people closer, I think. Like it's by me gifting them that, it like brings us closer and oh, what else am I trying to say? Sorry.
That's
Um
okay. This is great.
it is um and there's so much community not support, but there's so much programming right now out there for us beaters and Métis people, and there's a lot to learn and a lot to do right now, and it's lovely. It's great to be supported by a community and be proud to wear our little figure eight symbols proudly, or
Mhm.
Métis dash symbols.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. I love it. And your
Kind of
kids,
rambled a little bit, but
that's okay. Story of my life. Do your children interact with your beading at all?
yes, actually, yes, they do. Anastasia and Braxton have shown interest in beading. Like they'll pick up the needle and try and like put the beads on it and stuff like that. And yesterday and this morning, Anastasia said she didn't want to go to school because she wants to bead all day. And I was so proud. She's sitting there with her little table and her little pony beads. She's using bigger pony beads, stringing them on like a pipe cleaner thing. And she just wants to bead all day. Never
Oh,
been so proud.
yeah.
And I guess they're a big like inspiration for my beadwork too.
Mhm.
Because I've always wanted to have something, right? Like that you're good at. Like
Mm,
I'm not really one to sew or not one to like paint or draw. So this is kind of like my happy place. So I'm able to bead them things, right? And talk about it with them. And I'm looking forward to teaching them about what I know. They're gonna be into it.
mhm. Oh, I love
just,
that.
just like their mommy.
Oh, that's so sweet. That's so kind on my heart to hear that. So thank you so much. Um, so you did talk a bit about, you want to bead a wall pocket and some other items, but um, what are your do you have other like beading and artistry dreams?
I do. I want to this within I'm still in the process of getting my genealogy to get my Métis citizenship. Um, so once that's done, I think I'm gonna look into getting a mentor. I really want a mentor. And I've been like branching out. I've asked like Claire and Adriana who works at Mawa about it and a few other people, and I'm branching that out, finding out what I need to know to get a mentor. Because I want to make this my life, right? And I want to be able to get funding to work on bigger projects with other people. And it's this
Mm.
whole big process I didn't know.
Yeah, right? There's
You
so
have
much.
to apply for funding and application, then it's just, yeah, I
Mhm.
think I'll have a better shot at it when I get my citizenship. Still
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
gonna
Especially
work
with the current.
towards it.
Yeah, yeah, that'll be really helpful. Well, that's good. I know
Hmm.
it's a timely process, but definitely a worthy one. So
It
that
is like I need one because I want to live my life as a beadwork artist or an artist. So I would love to work under Janine Croce, of course, or someone who has worked under Janine Croce, but
yeah, I feel that.
right.
Yeah.
I guess other goals would be like maybe to start ribbon skirt making also. I guess I should have said that earlier too. I didn't write that down, but yeah, ribbon skirt making for my daughters would be really lovely.
Oh, I might know someone who can help you.
I think so. Once they ask me, like I'm not waiting for them to ask me, but I want them to be more involved with it, right? I just don't want it all handed to them. Like I just don't want them just to be handed a ribbon skirt. Here you go. You don't really know what it's for, when to wear it, kind of thing. Like I want them to be like, oh, what is that for? I want one of those kind of things, right? Like
Yeah.
you have to work for it a little bit. Some people just get it handed to them a little easier. Like, right, we have to work for it. I like that idea.
Yeah. And to not do it for like no reason, right? Like it's
Right.
from your heart and you're like, oh wow, like yeah, this is something I want to do. Yeah,
Mhm.
things. Because it does actually make me think of when I received my name and clan. Honestly, I had no idea of what that was for.
Yeah.
I had
Yeah.
very limited knowledge. Now, in that situation, I absolutely believe it went how it was supposed to. Because gaining that information changed everything for me. Um, but then all the other things that come with it and with Indigenous culture. I mean, I've never felt good being pushed into something, and I don't think many people do feel good being
No.
pushed into something. So to be able
Yeah.
to observe and say, yeah, that's for me, I think that's such a good parenting skill,
Mhm.
which kind of makes me think of like, oh, when we look at things with our culture, how does that relate to those parenting skills? It's
Mhm.
like another kind of question area coming up for me right now, something to look into one day. So I really appreciate your answer. That's
Yeah. And I would also one more thing. I'd love to, we'll probably be doing that in the summer, but hide tanning and
yeah.
smoking. Right? Get my yeah, that's another doable, achievable goal.
Very. It's so close
Right.
to you. So on the weekend, I was on the Métis Matriarchs project Zoom call. And for the students, I've talked to you a bit about this. This is for Métis people, and they will, in whatever way they choose, put the name of a Métis matriarch on a piece of fabric. Um, so first, like she was showing all of these different ones, and then she showed Hailey's, and Hailey had made one for herself, and it was just so sweet and so simple and
Oh,
so beautiful. And then a few ones later, she's like, "Yeah, I can't remember who made this." And I'm like, "Oh, that was Hailey who made that. Hailey's the person who has my elk hide and its brain in her freezer." So Tracy had like a good chuckle, like, "Oh yeah, we're really learning who people are."
I love that. Oh, you're talking about me and I'm not even there. That's so cute.
Yeah,
Oh,
right. So yeah,
that one. That was fun.
the hide tanning will happen. I have to admit, I have a little hope of getting a deer hide.
Mhm.
Those we use on little boy water drums. And I just think that would be if I could take like half a deer hide and gift it to one of my knowledge keepers, somebody who's making little boy water drums. Oh my God. That would just be so good on my heart. But I don't know if that's I have a lot to learn, but it looks like we're gonna learn that together. So
Yes, we are. We are. It's going to be fun. I'm so excited. Haven't really told many people about it yet. I
mhm.
want to tell my cousins, but I wanted to tell them in person. You know what I mean? Like I got Megan's elk hide brains in my freezer. How exciting. We're gonna be we're gonna be doing it. We're
Mhm.
gonna be doing the thing, the big thing.
And then also for my students who don't know about this, when tanning a hide, there's a thing called brain tanning. And so that's why we have the brain as well. It changes the tanning experience and the quality of the leather. I don't know if it's the quality or what, because I need to learn more about it. But just so you know, that's why we have a brain. Not the ones in our head, but you know. Okay, so this is the last question I have, but maybe we'll still talk after. So how do other Indigenous beadworkers and artists influence you?
How? I would say I don't know if it's a how, but I'm very influenced by other people.
Mm.
Um, if it wasn't for the community or um my friends that I've met through this journey, like there would be none of this. None of what I am right now, I guess. Um I take like inspiration from our grandmothers and our ancestors and more modern contemporary artists right now, obviously, because that's what we're around, right? So that's what we're working with. Um, um,
I'll just butt in and I'll say the same for me. Like if there weren't these available resources, I wouldn't know how to bead.
right? And then I have this book right here too. This
Mhm.
book has been very helpful. You might
Oh,
have seen it. It's called Our Grandmother's Hands, Repatriating Material Art by Gregory Schofield. And
uh,
it's got all the pictures of like
yeah,
just the beautiful art. And if it wasn't for stuff like this, right, like there would be no
right.
nothing like it. Yeah. Because I take like this book and like we can draw designs from it, right? We can like imitate flowers without, plagiarizing or copying,
Yeah.
right? Like it's helpful with the colors that they used and like
Mhm.
it's just amazing work. Amazing work.
So good. Now, do you have any pieces nearby that you would like to show us?
I have my octopus bag right here.
Yeah, I would love that. Put me on the spot.
So this is a little bag. This isn't my octopus bag, but this is a little tobacco bag I made. Um,
That's so
when
sweet.
I started it off, I was doing one and two needle technique.
Hmm.
And then I put it down for a little while. And then I really started using two needles more. So it's finished in two needle
Oh,
technique.
cool.
Yeah. Because I used to like to outline with two needle and then fill it in with one needle because that works really well, right?
Yeah.
So for some projects, it's really nice to do that. And the little fringes are all hand sewn in.
Oh, that's sweet.
And this is like the first little medicine bag I made. This little strawberry guy,
Hmm.
right? And I love making like the templates and patterns for them. Like it's always fun to, because when I first made it, it was really large and it was not like it wouldn't have looked right. I mean, it might have if I made a bigger strawberry and stuff, and like it wasn't sitting right on me.
Mhm.
So I adapted it, and here we are. It's so cute. And then here is this lovely octopus bag,
Oh, wow.
right?
Oh,
I
that's a
love this
lot.
one.
Yeah, that's amazing. Holy.
So that was really fun to construct by myself with like no help.
Mhm.
Right? Like figuring out because it was a little different than the other octopus bag I made was just it's a basic bag with a blanket stitch. So
Yeah.
trying to construct this one to have it's very small on the inside,
Mhm. Mhm.
but right, dangly bits. So it was a lot of fun and gathering the materials. I love gathering materials for projects because you just when I'm starting out, you just start out with like the template and the beads, and you kind of go from there. And like it's all, oh well, now I need bias tape, and now I need like different color of the yarn, and I would like some crow beads and
Yeah, that's when I like the thrift store. As you know, I have found such beautiful bias tape there and rickrack.
Mhm.
I've never bought yarn there, but I always see it's available. So there's been a
Yeah,
lot there. And then I've even bought like different sized beads there, which I've really liked.
yeah, I've bought some beads from there too. Like I have this nice little pink pack of beads from there, and they're really, really nice beads.
Yeah. And then I know we talked about trading, but I saw on your Instagram story you were looking to trade. You have a book that you're
Mhm.
willing to trade for some materials. So I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, I
Have you
didn't know
done that?
people traded materials until till Lily actually told me that. Like she had reached out and she's just like, I'm looking to, maybe trade some items if you have any, like a supply trade is what it's called. Yeah. And I had some dentalium shells and unopened pack and I offered it to her and um she traded me for a rabbit pelt and some vintage beads and yeah, it was so sweet. So I'm reaching out to try and trade this nice book that I bought last year.
Yeah.
It comes with I didn't even really need it.
Yeah.
But I love books. So we're gonna be hopefully trading it for some hide
Mm.
and some rabbit fur, hopefully. We will see.
Yeah.
But
Oh, that.
that's also a nice way to, you know, give back into your community too, because supplies are good and they're not cheap. And it's very nice to, you know, get something that you need, you
Mhm.
know,
Yeah.
without having to spend the money. Mhm.
Yeah. I know. So for me, I have furs from my dad that he trapped, and then I paid for the tanning. So now as you say that, I'm like, oh, okay, I should post on my Instagram, like willing to trade a fox or a coyote for some beading.
Yeah, if you have a fox, oh my gosh, Megan, give that to me.
Multiple. Yeah.
Like you have fox? Like is it a big fox?
Oh my God. I mean, there's just like a bunch of them. My dad had 14
Have
of
a
them.
lot.
Yeah, there was 14 foxes, 21 coyotes, a raccoon, a marten, and the fisher. The fisher's right here.
I love the Fisher.
Yeah, he's hello. Oh,
That's amazing. Like you have some, yeah, you know, like if you posted them on Instagram, yeah, you could get some
mm.
interesting things, I'm sure.
Oh, I bet. Okay, well, that's the route that I'll be going. So thank you for
You
that.
should.
I
Yeah.
sadly don't need your book, but if you had other things you wanted to trade,
Hmm.
I'd be very open. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, I
Yeah, I
know.
think I have dentalium shells too if you'd be interested
Mhm.
at some point. Like no rush, obviously,
Yeah,
but
no worries. Yeah, all right. Well, I think we're pretty close to wrapping it up. Although I'm kind of tempted to ask you something about the fabric. So, like, you were over at my place just the other weekend. We had such a nice
Hmm.
visit. And then I did share some fabric with you. And it just felt right. Like, it just felt to give
Yeah.
this fabric to you. Um, but then there were all these different patterns, and I was like, I feel like you need to make a tobacco bag out of that. And
Yeah.
have you had any thoughts about that? No pressure, obviously, but
Um, Not so much yet. Not so much. I'm just in between projects, but
Mhm.
I did try out your stabilizer and it works.
Oh,
I
good.
ironed it on the green like soft material you gave me and it works. It's like it's the stabilizer, so I'm
Oh,
very excited about that.
oh, that's so good. Oh,
Yeah.
that's so, yeah, that makes me happy. Yeah. And I mean, even for me, like, you know, I have like a pretty reasonable fabric collection. Um, I'm not open to sharing it with everyone, but there are people I'm open to sharing it with. So it's kind of funny, like where my heart goes. And it's like, yeah, I've
Yeah.
loved this person. And I guess that's the same for the trading as well.
Hmm.
There are people you would want to trade with. And then there's just sometimes, you know, not
The
right.
one person that I traded with, like, who didn't reciprocate it back, I had a feeling like it was just, yeah, I should have trusted my instinct. Should have, it was my second trade though, so I was very excited about doing it. And
Yeah.
they had reached out to me for it. So, it seemed legit, but in the back of my mind, I'm just like, I don't know, you know. So it's always a good idea to follow your heart,
Right? Isn't that?
right? Like, just do your research and yeah, you'll be okay.
And so then, not to pry, but you say do your research. Had you researched them, would you have been able to kind of see that this would happen, or do you mean like ask more questions?
Really, just they don't post very much on Instagram. Like, there's like not many red flags because they seem like a very like they were following people they're following people I follow and
Yeah.
right, like there was
Yeah.
nothing really,
No, I know what
you know
you
what
mean.
I mean, like it was just,
Mhm.
but I'm still willing to trade and I love them still. Like it was just a one bad trade, but
Yeah.
it
So
could be worse.
yeah, right. And that's the thing. It
Just
always.
look at it like it's on their bad karma kind of thing, you know what I mean, like, and
Mhm.
I even messaged them like about a month after the trade didn't come through, and they said they'd send it out. But yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I was
No worries.
trading beadwork for like body talk therapy.
Mhm.
And so it was I suggested it to my body talk woman. I just had this urge to bead something and I was starting my master's. So, I wasn't really sure how money would be. Um, and I listened to my spirit and she had full trust in me. And I remember at one point she even said like, you know, I might have to pay you for part of this. And I said, no, like I'm not going to let you do that. So she sounded very on board. And this piece was around 200 hours.
Mhm.
And in the end, she didn't hold up her side of the bargain. She gave like
Aw.
a very little amount. If we were to like dollar value what she had given, it was like a couple $100 or something.
Yeah.
Whereas like if we valued my per hour, um, and not that I don't feel right value, but it's like, okay, how do we compare this? And yeah, and they had no problem just having this boundary with me and saying, no, I didn't agree to this.
Yeah.
And it was, yeah, I mean, there's so much more to the story, like about what's going on in their life and the way that they're projecting on me. It's how they used to project onto someone else and whatnot. But it's like at the end of the day, the thing that I know is the only thing I could have done different is put more beading into this piece.
Yeah.
My spirit tells me I did exactly what I was supposed to do. And I felt so good when I gave that piece away, even though I didn't know what was going to happen. Um,
Yeah.
even though our relationship wasn't the same. Here I am again making your thing all about me. I'm sorry. But it was such a I find it so interesting. Like I'm sad about our relationship because we don't have a relationship really, but it's not just because of the beating. Like there's just things that have been going on and whatnot. But it is nice when you can have that trust and that reciprocity naturally.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And like we had that. Like I made you your ribbon skirt and you picked out like these perfect materials, the ribbons and the fabric and you
Mm.
listened to your heart when you did it. You could feel it.
Mm.
Yeah, so it is
Yeah.
nice when we can find those connections with people, those safe relations. It's not everywhere,
Yeah.
but very lucky. Mhm. All right, so we'll finish off there unless there's something else you would like to add.
No, I think we did good, I hope.
Yeah. Yeah, well, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. I love learning
Yeah.
about you, and I can't wait to hear what my students have to say as well.
Yeah. Hopefully it may like I hope I make sense.
Yeah, well, it's your story. Yeah, it only has to really make sense to you. If it makes sense to us, then we're all just really lucky.
Oh, and what class is this for? Your
This is Indigenous art culture history.
okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I will stop recording. Thank you, class.